operating in that defensive specialist position. So Drews opposite Hancock, then Kingdon and Parsons out wide. Retka and Washington, that big middle unit for Team USA. For Serbia, real choices here for Zoran Terzic. Going with Mina Popovic in that middle blocker position. She's a proper player, really big jumper is Popovic, so keep an eye on her through the middle. And interesting, Slađana Mirković is going to get the start in that playmaker role, so Antanisevic has been replaced. Aleksic in the number 14 shirt, more firepower through the middle. I think both liberos may see them operate today, but getting the nod to start with Teodora Pusic in that libero shirt. And here's the lineup. So Bjelica and Mirković, that's setter and opposite player. Popovic and Aleksic through the middle. Lasovic and Busa on through those wing spiker positions, with Busic a major role to play keeping things together. There he is, Kachkirai, the legend in USA men's volleyball, gold medalist on both the beach and indoor at the Olympic Games, and now looking for a gold medal as the women's coach in Tokyo 2020. And his opposite number, Zoran Terzic, doesn't suffer falls within his team, as we will see during the timeouts in the course of today's match, but a fine coach, and to produce a gold medalist team at the World Championships from a group of players, very talented players that he has. Full credit to Terzic for that result. And now looking to carry it on in this year's Vienna. Team's ready to go then. It'll be Serbia in the blue, and it will be their setter, Slađana Mirković, who plays her volleyball for the Chemik Police club in Poland, to serve. Second official, Pavel Berkiewicz of Poland, just confirming that everybody is in place. The lineups are correct and have been checked. And it will be Serbia serving, playing from right to left in set one of this best of 5 set match. USA in the red, playing from left to right. And away we go with game one in pool 5 on week 2 here in Italy. Well, a relatively cagey start up until the point that Annie Drews unloaded on the ball. And the noise of that spike echoing around this arena. That was a huge hit to open. Sarah Parsons then, MTV Stuttgart player in the German league, starts her VNL week with a touched ace. Solid start from Team USA. As I mentioned, the Serbian pass can very often be their downfall. This service reception from the team in blue has to be good today. And that's not great. Another good serve. Busa in the number 1 shirt, the target for the USA servers, but nicely put away. That certainly calmed some nerves. Nice kill early doors from Katarina Lazovic, only 19 years of age. Plays for Vizira Belgrade in the Serbian league. But a really handy wing spiker replacement. Got some big shoes to fill today. Little sketchy on the USA pass. Chance for Serbia. Straight into the net from Busa. So not a great start from the spiker in the number 1 shirt. 23-year-old Bianca Busa. Straight into that very nicely aligned USA block. Washington, the player that made the block with the serve. Good slow down block, continuation play for the USA. Drews looks really confident out there at the moment in the number 11 shirt for the Americans. Another great piece of defense, this time from Hancock, the setter. Oh dear. And just too wide for Bjelica. The Serbian captain just couldn't get to the ball to make the play. USA come up with the point. Not going to plan for Serbia at the end of that rally. 4-1 USA. Well, I said Bielitsa was world-class, and there's your proof. Had to play second fiddle for most of last season to the impressive Tijana Boskovic. But what a player to be able to bring in to the situation. Plays her volleyball with Valera Lacane in France, the 27-year-old. Mina Popovic serves for Serbia. Well, this is great stuff. Both teams have done their homework. There's a touch of X marks the spot around the court at the moment. Fine pickup from Parsons, but a nicely aligned block. All three women on the front court getting into that one for Serbia. Oh, wow. What a play. Well, maybe you at home feel the same way when you're watching a play like that, but if your eyes are drawn to the wrong player, on this occasion, it was Redke rushing in the middle, and the ball goes somewhere else, you know it's a good set. Hancock finding Annie Drews on the reverse for the kill, and Drews looks very impressive early in this game. Right on cue. The service error. Karch watching everything like a hawk. Assistant coach Luka Slabe in the background will provide the statistical analysis, and not much you can say about that. The stat will say points Serbia, but no pictures on the score sheet, so it won't tell you just how lucky this was for Bielitsa. But Serbia will take the points anyway, they can get them at the moment. And a great pass from Courtney. Hancock ships it wide. Better hit from Madison Kingdon-Rochelle. Off the antenna. Hence no defensive effort from Annie Drews. She knew that was out. The antenna, the red and white striped stick that extends at the sides of the net. That continues the sideline of the court way up into the air above net height. Has to pass, the ball has to pass between those two antennae to be in play. Nice slide D. Still a very handy attacker employed in the women's game. And Maya Aleksic with the kill, running around the back of the setter for the finish. Well, unfortunately for Serbia at the moment, no rhythm. One step forward, one step back. Redke back to the service line. She and Washington look to be a very impressive middle blocking unit. Pipe attack put away. Well, we started to see this 2 years ago in the women's game, the pipe attack. So much part of the men's game since Brazil brought it in the 1990s, but attacking from the middle of the back court and taking off from behind the 3-meter line to make the kill. Good work from Serbia. Good defense, and Washington just puts a dent in the floor from the overpass. There's only going to be one outcome from that. Technical timeout arrives then. Well played Team USA, but a very good fight as well from Serbia. And that's how dangerous the Serbian team are. No real rhythm at the moment in this first set, but still on very close terms with the Americans. Wonderful spike reach off a standing jump from Hayley Washington. 7 USA.
Minka, prva kontra s druge strane. Svoje desne strane u zonu 6. Prva, odmah, u zonu 6, ne u 1. Rekli smo šta blokira. Alo, i još posljednja, najvažnija možda stvar, imali smo 3 ili 4 kontre. Nijednu nismo uspjeli da ubacimo u teren s druge strane. Bjelica je nešto tamo skuvala u aut, Buša je udarila u antenu, Buša je udarila u sred mreže, znači nijednu nismo uspeli da im ubacimo u teren. A to je suština priče, ono što smo govorili. To je ono odbrana, svi sve znamo.
First chance for Zoran Terzic to get his in-game message across to the players. Both teams have assistant coaches positioned around the building, feeding statistical information both through earpieces and also via electronic devices to the coaches down there on the bench. So there's a lot of information going to the players, and the coaches hope that that will help them at key times in the match. USA captain then to restart with the serve, Misha Hancock. And that's a fine kill down the line. That's a beautiful shot. And Katarina Lazovic has made a fine start to this game. Doesn't have the highest spike reach at 2 meters and 90, but she's controlled that really well. Used the wrist to work this off of Annie Drew's block. And there's that one step forward, one step back feel at the moment that we've got for Serbia. Seda Mirkovic with the latest service error. First tip really we've seen in this match. Everything's been out and out power, but a bit of finesse here from Bjelica, going up against the other opposite spiker. That's the one rotation where Bjelica for Serbia will have to play left side. Most of the game you'll see her spiking on the right side of court. It's just the way the rotations stack up. Attempted save from Misha Hancock. But our first official from Russia, Evgeny Matshanov, says no, he played that over in Serbian airspace. And, it was tight. But it's Serbia's point. 10-9 they lead in set one in this race to 25. Well, still young, both Hayley Washington and Dana Retka in that middle blocking position. It looks to me like Coach Girai has found two superb players to bring in, and remember the kind of players that they're missing in the middle at the moment. The likes of Rachel Adams and Titori Dixon, not here in Italy with the team. They'll be watching with interest as these two young players turn it on in the middle. There's the main point scorer at the moment for Serbia. Bjelica in that opposite spiker position, this time hitting from her more familiar right side of court. She's a great player. Very much a tit-for-tat start to this match. It's what you would expect to see with elite volleyball. Both teams trading the side out. Remember, the team that receives serve has the advantage of attacking. And with the quality of these players, you would expect them to put the ball away. But some decent blockers out there as well will certainly change things around. Wow, in off the wing, and Bianca Busa has got herself on the score sheet. Had a sticky start to this match as Busa, but there was real intent in that spike. Bjelica back to the service line. Not the most convincing of slide D attacks, but they will count. Nicely played by Retka. Just off of Busa's outstretched arms in the block. Well picked up, nice read from the libero Courtney. Pusic can't get it into a hittable zone for Bjelica. And Hancock over on two, but just puts it straight on Pusic. Chances here still for the USA. Not quite taken. Again, team in red go for the point. Again, Serbia thwart them. Serbia's chance, under control. And it's a nice put away, second of the game for Busa. Nothing really special about that rally because nobody could quite get control of the ball. So all of the defensive plays, apart from that one from Courtney, were relatively straightforward. Until finally, Busa finds the seam of the block, so gets this between the arms of the blockers. That's the weakest point of a block, unless you've got a smaller player like Hancock to try and go over the top of. And I'm afraid these service errors really starting to stack up for Serbia. This is hurting them at the moment. Good block again from the USA. And Washington this time not penetrating the net, so not getting her arms and hands right across the net, and that just leaves a space between the net band or the net tape and the player's arms. So well found by Busa. So back to the service line. 5 errors at the moment from Serbia on service. This one's in. Excellent dig, cross court. And Busa is well dug by Drews. That was brave defence from the big American. USA chance. Hancock goes to the pipe, and that is a super kill. What a shot from Kingdon. And what a piece of defence from Annie Drews. Beach style down the line before Hancock finally releases Kingdon on the pipe. We saw it last week in week 1, a lot of the teams employing this play, and tactically very sound, isolating the blocker in the middle, leaving lots of room for that backcourt player to operate. 14-all, cracking contest in the opening set. Free ball coming, but they've targeted Hancock, so Courtney takes over as the setter and gives Annie Drews the kind of ball that she dreams about, right in front of the hitting shoulder for the left-hander. She has crunched this spike. What a superb kill from Drews. And at last, Serbia release a middle player on something other than a slide D. So instead of going around the back of the setter, running a quick ball in front, this is a B quick, so about 2 meters away. Popovic jumps, gets available, and gets a decent set. Oh, goodness me. Got a complete mix-up there for Team USA. 4 touches signalled by the referee. You can only have 3 in this game, so it's points Serbia. It's our second technical timeout at 16 points.
Dial up the service pressure a little bit. We got one nice opportunity there, and Mike gave us a great dig. We got the set. We've been working on that. Bingo on our out-of-system kill. Nice. We've had a number of out-of-system chances, though. We can be better, more tight. We got time. Luca.
Listen up, middle blockers. On out-of-system plays, we gotta get there and seal the deal. With number 1, even on out-of-system, she really doesn't want to go down the line. Okay, so maybe we're not doing our default. Let's still go one outside hand on number 1. Okay, but get over middles. On the hut as well. But seal the deal middles, okay?
Hey, we're doing good things. We're doing good things right here.
I know that there's a lot of you out there watching today that know your volleyball. But for those of you that are relatively new to this sport, in-system means the ball's under control. The players are doing exactly what they want with it tactically, so they can run the attacks they want to run. Out of system means that you have to do something a little outside the box to try and win the point, which is what both Lucas Slave and Karch Kirai were referring to. And you'll notice that one of them takes the coaching for all the service jobs and what happens after the service. The other takes everything that happens on side out, so trying to attack for the kill, which tends to be Karchkirai's job. Lucas Slade will come at the team with a lot of stats to go post-service, talking about block and defence. Slightly more straightforward system for Serbia. Zoran Terzic, just the one voice usually in the timeouts. And USA having a bit of a problem with ball control and communication at the moment. Not a great pass from Parsons on the last play. And again, the ball just going away from control on the second serve. So Karchkirai calling a timeout.
Najidealan prijem. Slobodno, zavisno se toga gde srednjak vuče, ako je malo pomereno na jednu i drugu stranu, pomažite slobodno.
Karchkirai in shot, Zoran Terzic. You can hear him on the microphone in the background. Such a privilege to be able to drop into these timeouts.
So press to that seam, okay? So we can touch her a couple times, okay?
We can do this, guys! We can do this! USA! Good job, guys. Good job. Right here. Right here.
We always look for a lot of technical information to be exchanged at those timeouts, but some of that work, or most of that work, has been done in the gym prior to the matches. It's been done in training. So a lot of what the coaches do in games is really quite basic in terms of information for players. Just trying to remind them in the heat of battle what their job is. And Lucas Slade wants the USA middle blockers to press over the net, get the hands to the seam of the block. Another poor effort from the USA, and another poor reverse set to Bielica. Didn't really try and beat the ball here, so just let it drift towards the antenna. Just couldn't bring it back into play. So second time Bielica has hit the antenna. And it's rather saved the USA, who are having a poor run there. The world champions are showing that they too have backup in this squad. Remember, no Antonijevic on court. There is no Tijana Boskovic, their main point scorer, on court. No captain, Milena Razic. This is virtually a replacement 6, or replacement 7 if you include the libero out there on court. And they are doing a brilliant job at the moment against the VNL champions. Parsons bumping it to the net, but Kingdon still can't put it away. Nice pick up from Misha Hancock. Both she and Drews have played really well on that right side of court. But a fine set. Well, if you get that ball wide, flat and fast, you're going to pull the block in all sorts of directions, and Washington just couldn't close Debusa there, who had complete free range of court. Timeout called by Karchkirai, second USA timeout, and they're in a bit of trouble here as we head into the business end of this first set.
Again, click our service pressure up a notch and hold a good route. Hold a good platform, put us 10 feet off, and we're going to get some great swings out of that. We've got 4 strong routes. All right, here we go. Together.
USA!
As coaches, we tend to get bogged down in talking about getting the ball really tight to the net on service reception, but actually Karchkirai saying keep the ball away from the net, keep the sets a little bit away from the blockers, and that will allow us to swing hard on the ball. Zoran Terzic will be delighted with the start that his team have made to this game. And a major part of that, a reduction in the Serbian errors. Getting a good service run now from the baseline, and that's forcing the USA to side out every ball. 3 points in it. In the pro game, these players will take a 3-point lead, and Serbia would expect to get this set across the line. Can anybody from the US team step it up a notch? That'll do for starters. A serve from Washington, 4th point of the game. 1 kill block, 1 ace serve to a attack points from the number 22 for Team USA. Looks to be a real star of the future. Can she follow that ace with another? Not quite. Good swing from Busa, and after a very untidy start from the number 1 for Serbia, things starting to flow now. Another step closer for the team in blue to a 1-set-to-love lead. Mina Popovic with a jump serve. Oh, good block, great recovery from Kingdon, but USA just shovel it over. B Cook this time doesn't work, but Serbia get another go. And that was only going to be a point for Serbia. And yeah, it's a fine set this time on the reverse. Mirkovic struggling with that ball. Now, didn't know much about it, Kingdon, on that pick-up off her own shot. But Bielica knew all about that, knew exactly where she was going with the shot. But a really fine set from Mirkovic to give her the chance. 22-18 Serbia. Lovely picture from above the court. You can see USA when they have the ball under control, so when they're in system, as you heard the coaches calling it, then they can do what they want. All attackers available. Annie Drews, the favoured attacker, puts another one away. So Drews on 6 points now for the game in set 1. Key player for the USA with the serve. And a second service error, I'm afraid, from Annie Drews, just when the USA didn't need it. And Karchkirai feeling the heat here in northern Italy. Bielica. Over on 2, sorry, from Hancock, easily read. But the miss from Lazovic on the attack from the middle part of the backcourt. And that's what you get with younger players, teenage players, as fantastic as they can sometimes be. There is a little bit of inconsistency. So USA handed the ball back. And a fine block. Dana Retka's first real contribution in the front court. Good stop from her. And Zoran Terzic decides that it's his turn to stop the game with a timeout.
Sve vreme ti je... Okej, neki put nije lako, daleko od mreže, ne znam i tako dalje, ali da znaš. Drugo, imaš dizača od 1,5 m i srednjaka od 2 metra. Ajde. Ne može na 23 da dodajemo prijem ovako na ovakav usmeni servis. Ne može, servis je nikakav. Ako je već tako nikakav, idemo na idealan prijem da igramo. Ajde.
Terzic never far away from a more forceful delivery at timeouts. But we'll be hoping his team can get the job done here. This is how you block. Hands over the net. Arms and hands facing back into court. If you can do that, if you close the gap between the arms and the net tape, then you've penetrated the net. And that's very difficult for the attackers to get past. 2 points in it. Kingdon looking to put more pressure on this Serbian passing unit. She has done. It's a free ball, USA. Hancock goes on the slide, D to Retka. Oh, that's brilliant. Well worked from Serbia. Not a great set from Hancock. USA somehow still in the rally. Oh, but it's over now. Well, that was poor ball control from the team in red. 2 opportunities to put that away and close the gap further, and they missed both of them. And then eventually the overpass. Parsons stepping over the line to give Serbia 3 set points. Busa it is at the line, and that reduction in errors by Serbia clearly a factor. Beautifully run slide D It's the only time you'll see the volleyball players jumping off one leg, because 2 quadricep muscles in the legs will propel you higher into the air than one. But on the slide D, you drift around the back of the setter, go off one leg and get that extension so you can reach for the line. Retka needs to find 2 points on her serve. Good pass from Pusic. And a fine kill off the hands of the blocker, despite the claims of Parsons. No challenge, I don't think, from the USA. They've accepted this one. No, they are going to challenge. Well, if you've got one left, you might as well use it. Now, I think the officials gave this as a touch off the block as opposed to in on the sideline. So that's what we're going to have a look at. Did this come off the blocker's hand? And this is where the challenge system is so fantastic. These touches went unseen very often. Very difficult from the naked eye, that close to the referee. But with the challenge system, you can get a super slow-mo replay to have a look whether that ball bent one of the fingers back on the blocker's hand. Oh, goodness me. Well, if that's touched something, it's touched a fingernail, and it hasn't got a touch. What a challenge from the USA. And I thought they were going to take that one originally, and I wonder if Karch Kirai had something to do with throwing the challenge into the mix. We're going to get a counter-challenge then from Bjelica. And the counter-challenge will have to be to ask if they can have a look at this on the sideline. Referee says no, I think he's sent them away. Terzic can't believe it. And the USA are still fighting here in set 1. But this could be one of the more bizarre finishes to a set on the VNL this year if the USA can claw their way back into it from here. Pusic not as good on the pass this time, but well sorted out. And that is a brilliant kill from Katarina Lazovic. And when the 19-year-old needed to find the shot, boy, did she find it. Out of system play from Serbia, so they didn't have particularly good control of the ball. And she has thumped that straight between the 2 blockers. That is a wide open seam. And USA are going to have to take a very close look at that. It was almost a gimme for the teenage wing spiker. Fine start from Serbia. The world champions put a set on the board against Team USA as the Italian fans begin to look forward to their game against last week's giant killers, the Dominican Republic. Not the start that the VNL champions then were looking for here in northern Italy. And they are certainly going to have to improve a few areas of their game. Rather like Serbia in the early stages of that first set, they also made a lot of mistakes. The USA have to tighten up on that. For Serbia, though, no problems at all. And as that set wore on in the business end, all the highlights belonged to Serbia. They are 1-0 up on Team USA. Perfect start for Serbia here in Conegliano. 25-23, they claim the first set. And just looking down the stats, Serbia keeping the scoreboard turning over. So those early serve problems that they had, well, they more than covered that with their ability to put the ball away when they needed to. in terms of what they can do, what they can improve on, if they can tighten the block at the net, Serbia are going to be very tricky for the USA to break down. And once they got rolling, after a rather sticky start, the world champions looked very good indeed for the USA. Issues to sort down there on court. Always the problem when you have a group of players that don't play regularly together. If you looked at the whole of the US squad, this is not the starting lineup that you would put out onto the floor. So plenty of players out there need to prove a point. I think a few of them have. Certainly Washington was impressive. And if Dana Retka, her middle blocking partner, can improve her blocking stats, then that's where USA could get back into the game. And on both sides of the net at the moment, it's the two opposite spikers that are doing the damage. So Drew's on 6 and Bjelica on 6. That's their points tally from set 1. Rotations checked by second official Berkiewicz. First official Makshanov signals USA to serve at the start of set 2. Serbia lead then 1-0 here in Italy. USA on the comeback trail. Bjelica just using and abusing the wing blockers at the moment. Sarah Parsons lined it up pretty nicely, but there was enough of a gap on the line for Bjelica to go at. Popovic, number 5, been quiet so far through the middle for Serbia. But she's an excellent player to watch when she gets flying. Good swing from Alexic, well defended. And that's brilliant. That's exceptional play. Both sides. Superb defence again. And a wonderful finish. Well, when you have a mega rally, it's great to see it finish on a good bit of skill. Excellent block from Team USA, but there was a couple of pickups in there. 1 or 2 that were just world class, and after a poor start from Team USA out of system, there were some wonderful pickups. Full commitment from Misha Hancock onto the floor to make that one. And a wonderful diving dig from Laskovic before finally Drews and Washington shut it down at the net. First mega rally of the game, and a good one. Hancock, pipe attack, wonderful pick-up again, this time from Puzic. But so unlucky. That's the only real lottery feel to the game, when it pings off the forearms at speed in defence. Where's it going to go? Wonderful shot of that pipe attack, just saw Parsons, the hitter, with what we would call a thumb-down hit. So if your thumb's pointing down as you contact the ball, you're hitting onto the inside of the ball and spinning it away from you. If the thumb's pointing up as you hit, you're spinning it across your body. Nice, easy way of remembering what you're trying to do with your hand as you contact the ball. At the moment, the USA wing spikers on this left side of court doing no damage at all. Neither Kingdon or Parsons putting the ball away on a regular basis. That's not the problem for Serbia. Lasovic has been very impressive. And Busa gradually catching her up. Another great pipe attack from Serbia. And another very twitchy service error from Bjelica. He's seen it all before, Zoran Terzic. He's shouted at his players for it all before as well over the years. But relatively calm at the moment. Really nice work on the set. Well, Merkovic is gradually finding a way into this game. Sladjana Merkovic in the number 8 shirt for Serbia. She's a good player, signed by Chemik Police in the Polish First Division. Well, Kingdon gets the kill, but we call that a wing spiker's pass. So basically she received the service, not deliberately so, but didn't get it to the setter in any kind of setting zone. And the only option was to set the ball to Kingdon. That's how we say the wing spikers get a set if they want to play a shot. Free ball coming for the USA. Retka running around the back and gets the set. And more tremendous defence from Pusic. Well, hats off Serbia. That is a cracking point from them. Really good touch on the block to slow Retka's shot down, but Pusic's diving dig was fabulous. Picked her out as one of the players to watch at the top of the broadcast, and Teodora Pusic, the libero for Serbia, is delivering. Retka again, this time finds space. No Pusic on court because it was the middle blocker that had just served, but the middle blocker will now vacate the court for the libero. It's the regular switch. Just touched the block. Oh, it's a fine shot. Just a little reminder there that Misha Hancock may be one of the shorter players on court, maybe in that playmaking position and doesn't get to spike a lot. But these players are multi-talented. Just watch this ball sit up above the net for Misha Hancock to show what she can do. Left-handed spike from her. And can't quite feed that block to the defenders. Kirai not doing his best job of looking like he's staying calm down there. He's getting a bit frustrated with some of the really basic errors that his team are making. Decent pass. Oh, nice put away. Dana Retka trying to get the team fired up. Really nice feed from Hancock. In and out of the hands very quickly on that set. Good touch from Kingdon. And a good kill. Wing spiking partner Parsons. It's a bit more like it from Team USA. And they reach the first technical timeout in set 2 with the lead.
Oni I dalje ne igraju pari. Ti I dalje stojiš usko. Ti I dalje kasniš svaki put na Koreju I svaki put ostaneš 2 metra I ona svaki put levo od tebe posle sve terena. Tako? Dobro, izmena on šta da radi. Ajde, zovem. Lozo, dođi vam. Ne, možda naučiš, a on
No doubt about it on the evidence that we've seen so far. This is a pretty evenly matched contest. Yellow set. Just like Annie Drews, the key player in that opposite position, spiking right side of court and putting the ball away on a regular basis. 6-point haul from Bielica. They're going to need her to keep firing if they're going to get through this game. There's a long way to go in this one, and just get the feeling that it's certainly going to be longer than 3 sets. Kirai just letting Dana Retka know what he wants her service target to be. It's down the line, very nicely so. New player on court for Serbia, number 22 Lozo. Well spotted by Karch Kirai and well served by Dana Retka. Hayley Washington supplying the monster block to finish the rally. Beautifully done. And again, 2 monster blocks in a row for Team USA. And I think Misha Hancock got a piece of this one. Well, left-sided court, Bielica not quite as effective. Different angles to the angles she's normally used to hitting on. And Misha Hancock got all of that. Brilliant block by the American setter. Tip. And that's the value of getting a good block on the big hitter. But a tip, unfortunately, from Team USA. Mirkovic on the opposite to Lozo. What a kill from Annie Drews. That's how she started the match, with a thundering spike. She's done it again. Super spike from Drews. Look at that. Courtside low angle camera just letting you know how high these players are jumping. Drews contacting the ball at 3 meters and 16 in the air.
Listen up. The center is trying to isolate, so be smart. Calling tight, quick.
Every coaches have their style. Zoran Terzic, you often feel in his timeouts that you should just put a question mark on everything he says at the end of it. You know, why are you doing this? Why did you do that? Why did you do this? But it just works for this Serbian side. On the American side of the net, much more prescriptive. 2 voices talking in the timeouts with very specific information being delivered. And every so often, just like in last year's VNL final, it takes Team USA a while to get rolling on the system plan. Now, is that an ace from Dana Retka? Are the USA going to challenge to see if it did in fact compress and touch the line? They are. Well, it's Retka that's actually been the deciding player behind that. Looked straight across at Kirai, who said, "What do you think?" And she said, "Yeah, it's in, it's touched." Now, if this ball compresses down and hits any part of the line, it's point USA, and I'm afraid Retka's view of that one may be slightly distorted by some rose-coloured spectacles. So, you use a challenge, you've got 2 of them per set, and if you lose it, the challenge that is, then you lose the challenge. So, USA down to 1. Just waiting for this to be confirmed to the players and the officials. What Retka's reaction will be as Serbia wait for the decision. Now, fortunately for both teams, not at a major junction in the game. Kirai now rather concerned that that wasn't up on the board for all to see. Especially for him to see. He wanted to see how far that was out because his eyes deceived him on that last call. So both he and Retka getting a challenge wrong and losing the challenge. Well, good swing for Annie Drews. He wasn't quite sure that had made it into the court, but it was comfortably inside the baseline. And some suspicions as well that that service from Serbia was a footfall. So, unfortunately for the USA, putting the ball away, they're okay. Great kill from Busa. She's certainly come to the party. Great elevation off the floor, then getting that hitting arm in position, elbow high. So you can create a tremendous amount of torque across the pectoral muscles on the chest. And then using the arm almost like a whiplash coming through the cap the ball with the hand and transfer the power. Nicely done. Same technique from Parsons. Goes off Popovic in the block. And we're going to see a change of personnel here. Maja Savic is going to be entering the fray.
Substitution for Serbia, number 14, Maja Aleksic out. Number 6.
So Savic in, Aleksic out. Middle blocker for middle blocker. Popovic keeps her place on court. Very clear signs here that after just about a set and a half of this match, Team USA have found their feet. Ace serve from Sarah Parsons. A very solid kill. It's stepping up to the plate here. Didn't get a tremendous amount of court time on last year's VNL because of Tijana Boskovic, the other opposite player. That's not great from the Serbian captain. Follows a thundering spike with a poor serve. That will not please coach Terzic at all. Washington for the USA. 15-9, USA in complete control of set 2. And it'll be even more so now after that ace serve from Washington. This is much more like the USA that we saw winning 3 games from 3 in week 1 of the VNL. Second technical timeout arrives, and Serbia in a bit of trouble.
Move your feet. Yes, take care of it.
Keep our feet and move our feet.
Ladies,
Yeah.
number 6, we're nose on her slide. But see, if she's running in front, disregard. Don't worry about focus pin to pin. Maddie, Sarah, see where Oppo is running right now. Make sure your hands a little bit narrower. Get us a touch. Okay, get us a touch. Here we go.
Push for one. Push for one.
USA!
Yeah, interesting information from assistant coach Lucas Slave. Just saying to disregard the middle players for Serbia if they are running in front of the setter. He thinks the only way that they're getting the ball at the moment is on the slide attack around the back on the reverse. So that's just one less thing for the middle blockers to concern themselves with. If they can start to take away some of the overload that the middle blockers have, that might allow them to read a couple of plays here. And if they do read the set, if they do read where the ball's going, then they've got to make the block. Very forceful. Great shot from Bjelica on the pipe. Merkovic feeding her captain. Bjelica obliging with another kill. A little bit quieter this set, but she's on to 8 points. Drews. Another lashing spike, which Bjelica got underneath, but couldn't quite keep in play. Takes Drews to double figures. 10 points to Annie Drews. Leading scorer by quite some way for Team USA. Parsons with 6, Retka with 6. Washington with 7, so the workload being shared. Great look from above the court. Just saw that little line of USA players on the right side of the picture. The 3 frontline players standing next to each other in the front court. And what they're effectively trying to do, legally, just about, is to create a screen. So they're trying to block the view to the server the Serbian passers have. Now, we might have a rotation issue here. Second official has gone across to the bench to sort this one out, or to the scorer's table to sort this one out. Those 6 positions on court have to be followed through the rotation. Players going around clockwise. I think everyone's happy, so no issues for either team. 17-10 though is an issue for Serbia in set 2. Better serve from Drews. Replacement player on court, Lozo, with a solid spike. And Savic. Well, you saw as Savic hit that, that she just raised her arm to suggest this was going out. But it's been played by Bjelica following up, and I think that was probably going to hit the line in defence of the Serbian captain. 8-point lead now for Team USA. Backline offence, Bjelica, more controlled by Pusic. And Lozo forces it off the block, but then collapses into the net. And remember, the net is out of bounds for the players. And so far, Zoran Terzic's substitutions have not worked in this set. Just see the contact on top of the net take there from Lozo. And Tanasiewicz comes on as the replacement playmaker. Mirkovic has had her moments, but has gone off the boil a bit in set 2, so the regular starting setter in this particular lineup is on. And the substitution doing enough to just affect Annie Drew's concentration. Another miss serve for her. Drews is usually a very strong server, but I'm afraid today not quite happening for her. USA mustn't relax here. Savic with the ace. Another new player on court for Serbia. A very lacklustre attempt to pass here from Sarah Parsons. I'm just wondering whether she thought that the player alongside her, Madison Kingdom, was going to take that. Players call the ball. So first of all, they identify who's taking what angles. Communicate then about the service that's coming. Is it a float? Is it a jump serve, top spin? And then, final part of the equation, the player that's going to pass it calls, and you are allowed to say my ball or mine. Better pass. And that's what you can do with the ball under control. Now, I think we will see a challenge here because Kingdon absolutely convinced this touched the hands of the Serbian block. So USA go for their second challenge in set 2. They lost the first one, but such was Kingdon's confidence here, I would suggest they're not going to lose this one. So block touch is the challenge. Just looking for a finger to move, and there it was. Left index finger of the new player on court, Tanasiewicz. Just saw there, interestingly, the challenge was obviously about the touch, but I don't know if any of you noticed how high Popovic got on the block. She had head and shoulders over the net. She really can jump, the number 5 for Serbia. USA spikers, though, staying away from her on their attacks. Good challenge from the USA then, it's their point. There you go, not a flying shot from Popovic, but well controlled by the USA. And put away, off the block and out by Lozo. We thought that number 22, Sara Lozo, was going to get a start. She's actually an opposite player that can also play as a wing spiker, so she's very adaptable. Plays both left and right side of court, which is a very useful skill to have. Good line up on the block from the USA, and a free ball is earned. On the reverse, nicely done. And that's exactly what Karchkirai was asking his players to do. Just get the ball to Hancock, and then Hancock not to put the ball too tight. Is slanting away from the net, and Retka using all of her height to put the slide D away. Decent game from her so far. I think USA could do with a bit more contribution from the big middle blocker. There we go, right on cue. For once, the reverse of the commentator's curse. And Retka delivers an ace. Great passing position from Lozo. That's the one thing she's not as adept at. Somehow this has been played on here, but it is a free ball. USA with another Real opportunity. Just trying something a little bit different there to Hayley Washington through the middle on attack. Didn't work for Team USA. This free ball coming in, and then Pusic. That is a really clever bit of thinking from the libero for Serbia. Getting the ball out wide to her captain. Drews sorts it out. Now, she has nailed the tee. That's a tough shot to hit for a lefty on the right side of court. The tee is where the 3-metre line meets the sideline. And a super spike from Drews. It's everything that you want to see from your opposite player. Inside the 3-metre line, tight to the sideline. That's tough to defend. 2 points away from levelling the match now, Team USA. Another great shot from Popovic. Now, a lot of coaches out there watching this will understand what I'm about to say here, but the players that can jump the highest in the middle sometimes hit too steep. Too much of a warm-up hit, and Popovic has done just that into the block. She's got away with it on this occasion. Drews again. And her impressive game continues. Drews goes to 12 points. And with it, set point arrives. In fact, she may be on 11 still. But whatever way, it's been a notable contribution. 9 set points, Team USA. Tip well chosen by Busa. 23 years of age, Bianca Busa, another player that plays with the Police club in Poland. Can't grab hold of that ball and throw it. Has to come off the fingertips with a straight arm. You can flex your hand at the wrist. So sometimes people question the setters going over on that second ball. Looks like sometimes they've thrown the ball. But generally speaking, contact is over before the arm movement really happens. Yelitsa gets nowhere near saving her team in set 2. Huge service error. I mean, really big from Yelitsa. That was horrible. And the second set, not as good by a long way for this Serbian team. Team USA starting to look the part now. The VNL champions finding their feet here in Conegliano as they level the game. 25 points to 16 then in set 2. And Team USA look well and truly back on track. Drews still leading the scoring, but a number of other players now really getting in on the act, keeping that scoreboard ticking over. And more importantly than that, trying to reduce the errors, trying to stop those free points being given away to the opposition. Well, Serbia need to try and find a way back to the form from the first set, because the second set belonged to Team USA. In Conegliano in the northeast of Italy. You may have noticed a few the sponsor signs around the court. This area is famous for its Prosecco. Not sure who's going to be cracking open the fizz just yet, though, from this game, but signs very encouraging for Team USA. Good recovery after losing the first set. And that's a convincing scoreline, 25 points to 16. Basically, much better in pretty much all the departments for Team USA. So the Serbian fans, not as much to cheer about this time around. So Terzic getting down with his players there, just allowing them to sit down. A lot of coaches will demand the players stand up the whole time and listen. Drews, key player for Team USA so far, their leading scorer at the moment, 11 points, 10 attacks and a block, but the serving is a big donut, I'm afraid, and it's not been great from Annie Drews, which, considering how many aces she can deliver in a game, she'll be looking to improve from the baseline. But here's some of the terrific hits that she's delivered. That was the shot she nailed onto the tee. She was hitting the ball very, very hard indeed. Doing what her coach Karch Kirai used to do, hitting various parts of the ball to spin it away from the blockers and defenders to create the angles that for most of us mere mortals don't exist when we're spiking the ball. So Team USA in the red, looking buoyant as they come back onto court for set through. That's it, Dad, sing the words. Look too concerned, Team Serbia. I think the fans look a little more worried. They would prefer not to have back-to-back losses after that 3-0 defeat in the hands of Turkey. And certainly with the teams they've got to face this week, another big test against Italy and the Dominican Republic to come. And remember, the Dominican Republic last week in Brasilia, the Giant Killers beating Russia and then beating the hosts Brazil. History-making results for the Dominican Republic. So I think we got some electronic issues down on the bench. Now it works, says Lucas Slade. There's a little pad that, little tablet that the coaches have to dial up what they want to press, and they'll press one particular buzzer for a timeout, one particular buzzer for a substitution, another buzzer for a challenge. One all then. Canigliano, and it'll be Serbia once again to get the odd-numbered set underway. Set 3, here we go. Wayward spike from Sarah Parsons, never quite got hold of that one. Parsons, based in Germany for the MTV Stuttgart club in the Bundesliga. 47th cap this evening for Team USA. And Serbia must not return to the poor service form of set 1. New setter on court for them, Emilia Antanasiewicz. Well, that's not a great start from Parsons either. 2 errors from her early doors. We'll have a rally in a minute when someone gets a ball in. Good pass. Now, has it just taken the sideline? Kingdon thinks it did. But the wing spiker not always best placed when it's a diagonal shot. This is a long way away. And if it caught anything, it was the far outside of the line. USA would have to challenge to get the call. They're not going to waste a challenge this early. Overpass, put away. And a little flat-footed there from the American defenders. Alarm bells ringing at the moment, but not quite the start the USA were looking for. What a shot. Well, like Popovic and like Retka, Hayley Washington gets right up off the floor. Contact point that's 15 centimetres or so higher than a basketball ring. And when you're up there in the clouds like that, you can play those kinds of shots. Great play from her. Great set, one-handed, from Misha Hancock. And a fine serve from Washington to follow. Ace serve then. Another point on the board for the middle blocker. Washington takes it to 9. That's actually her third ace serve of this game. Make it her fourth. Even if it's touched by one player, it still counts. It's an impressive return for a middle blocker from the service line. And Zoran Terzic has had enough. I think he's going to throw the replacement libero, Bojana Vukanin, into the mix. The 16-year-old from Partizan Beograd might be making an entrance on the court shortly. Better pass from Pusic. And a more convincing kill from Kingdon. Good service run this from Washington. Great contribution to the game. Oh no. Well, Pusic was tempted. Now that's definitely out, but the temptation has led to a little micro touch on the ball here. It's another ace. Now what does this clip? It just clips the top of Pusic's hand. And she knows, with the challenge system, she can't pretend it didn't. And that's seen Pusic removed from court. 16-year-old Bojana Vukanin is on. Joint youngest player with the Russian setter Matvieva on the VNL this year. Popovic having one of those middle blocker games where she's pretty quiet, she's not doing a lot wrong, not doing a lot right, and maintaining her place on court. But there was so much right about that attack. Retka is tall and going off one leg in front of the setter. That is almost unheard of in volleyball. Clever bit of invention from Retka. Free ball. No, not a free ball. Bielica decides to go for the shot. Hits it hard into the American block. And that's a nice kill. And USA move into a very handy three-point lead here as the first technical timeout arrives.
Jedna greška uslovljava još 10 za redom. Ne sme da se desi. Pa dalite ono što je bilo, razmišljajte o sledećem poenu. Nisu one naučile sad u trećem setu da serviraju. I da od 8 poena uzmu 5 aseva. Sigurno je da nisu naučile da serviraju. Opet ista priča. Nazad, ruke, ruke, glava, naravno. Opet ista priča. Ajde, seti se treninga.
Ajde, ajde! Srbija!
You might not be able to speak the language, but the body language tells you pretty much all you need to know. And Zoran Terzic is getting increasingly dissatisfied with the efforts of his players. There's that penetration from the blockers, getting the hands and the arms over the net. Well, he knows, Zoran Terzic, something has to change out there. He's changed enough for the players so far. Just needs a change in form now. As so often the case, the serve is missed after the timeout, but that's the last player that needs to do that. Annie Drew's trials and tribulations continue from the service line. Overpass. A nice battle from Hancock. Clever from the US setter. And very nicely fed on that inside ball. That was a deliberate play. That wasn't just a set that didn't quite go all the way to the wing. That was very deliberately set in from the wing. And a fine spike. Kingdon with the super spike kill against one blocker. Close and personal with Misha Hancock at the net. And Retka getting pretty up close and in the face of the Serbian attackers. Monster block from the tallest player on the US team. 2.3 meters. About a dime short of 6'8". Good pass, that's better. Off pace, good reuse, deliberate recycle from Parsons. Gives Drews the chance to whack it into the corner. Don't want to be too technical about that shot because Drews just threw the kitchen sink at it. Another substitution. New opposite spiker comes on court, so the captain, Yelitsa, loses her place. And Kubura is on. Milica Kubura, opposite player, 23 years of age, from Partizan Belgrade, 1.92 meters tall. So decent height. And she gets a horrible pass to try and play with. Can't do anything but feed it over for a free ball. And Dana Retka is wreaking havoc, I think the phrase is, in front court for Team USA at the moment. Now just watch this block. They don't know where to go or what to do, and it's completely a wrong guess from Maja Savic, the middle blocker. Great feed from Misha Hancock. Timeout Serbia.
Prvi napad Koreje, otišla si u aut. Odmah prvi napad Koreje, jel tako? Sve ono što smo radili na treningu, što smo objašnjavali, ništa. Prvi napad Koreje pao 2 metra ispred tebe. Tačno na mjesto da treba stojiti. Ajde, setite se. Ajde, setite se tih stvari.
Well, Zoran Terzic will know it's a bit of a waiting game at the moment for his team. Doesn't really matter what he says on the sideline. It's not going to change too much. He just needs his team to hang in here long enough for him to find a rotation of players that works. And for them to find enough form to put pressure on Team USA, because at the moment that simply isn't happening. It's going, I'm afraid, from bad to worse. Kingdon with the ace serve. Lozo, usually an opposite spiker, the number 22 for Serbia, has struggled with her service reception. Great pick up from the libero Courtney, and another lashing spike from Drews. She gets such a lot of torque on that arm. High elbow, reaches way back, and when she initiates the swing, she's in a wonderful position in the air. No wonder she hits this ball hard. 13-6. Kingdon to serve again. Not a problem with the lead that Team USA have, even though there's a long way to go to 25 points. This is now what we call a side-out game for the Americans. They don't really have to score another serve off, or score another point off their own serve. They just have to keep killing the ball in attack, and the set will be theirs. Nothing quite connecting at the moment between Hancock and Parsons, which is what forced her into the tip. Reasonable effort with the sliding defence for Serbia. But not quite good enough. Lozo with the pass. Lozo will be with the hit. And that's nice. As a wing spiker, you're involved so much in the service reception that for every kill like this, so let's assume that that is one in the bank, a credit for Lozo. But how long before that credit is removed by a poor pass? Well, the poor pass is all the USA's at the moment. That was Kingdon beaten on service. That ball, if you get it to the right speed in the air, depending on what the atmosphere is in the arena, that ball will drop very quickly. It'll also move from side to side. That's what the servers are trying to make these jump float serves do, hitting the ball flat. Great kick. Slide D option taken. Washington burying that cross court. And all that Emilia Antanasevic could do is just take evasive action. He's batting it away. Lovely set from Hancock. Most of the setters employing, when they can, when the ball is under control, employing the jump set. So jumping into the air and then volleying. Cuts down timing options, causes issues for the blocker. Allows a flatter, accurate set to come out.
Left side attacker. Let's not worry about Oppo. Just for making a good read, it's Oppo. Middle, and left side. Again, Annie, number 22. If we give her too much line, she's gonna take it. So we gotta be outside hand, even though that means on the antenna. We gotta go there, okay? Here we go.
Good job, USA! 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 Good job!
Well, the lower standard of volleyball you go down to, the less usually the players are able to hit the line for all sorts of reasons. Maybe not quite the skill level for the left side players to turn it down the line. Maybe the setters can't quite get the ball there, but as you come up to this level, the line is an option for everyone. Cross court is an option for everyone, and that makes it a nightmare for blockers. But Lucas Slade wants Annie Drews to go wide and shut down Lozo on the line shot. Let's see if she does that now. Let's see if Lozo gets the ball. Hancock serves. Well, she got the ball, but she got it on service. And another shank pass flies away from the court for Serbia. And this USA ace count is getting crazy here. Washington's got 5, Retka 1, Parsons 2, a couple each for Hancock and Kingdon. Just about passed, well done. Lozo has to go back to the cross court. So as she came in to hit this ball, Drews would have made her fully aware that she was closing down on the line. Lozo forced into a cross-court shot, so maybe not her strongest suit. Hancock, contribution of 3 points. That's not really the setter's job to be ticking the scoreboard over. It's to be feeding the players that can do that. And Hancock's done a good job. On the setting anyway, service not so good there. Well, I won't lie to you, set 3's been a bit of a grind. The light and shade of world-class sport. You get some good sets, you get some sets where really this is a day at the office for both teams. Not quite going through the motions, but having to work hard to make anything happen out there. Latest service error, this time from Antanasiewicz of Serbia. There's a couple in the net from her in this set, and make it another one in the net this time from Parsons. I have seen just once, just the once, but I have seen an entire rotation on the World Grand Prix a few years ago. An entire rotation of service errors. That's not happening now, though. Drew's forced to tip, not quite on the money from Hancock, but again, that's how you earn your money. That's how you make the points happen, to be able to key into the fact that this ball was not hittable. So she tipped it and tipped it well. Serbian defenders expecting another sledgehammer of a hit from Drews on the back foot. Terzic can't watch at the moment. Decent enough pass from Lozo. And a very, very good kill cross-court from Milica Kubura. super spike from her. Players in the warm-up try and bounce the ball off the floor and up as high towards the ceiling as they can. And that one's certainly got some elevation from the floor. Out. Good leave from Sarah Parsons. Off the Popovic serve. Serbia know it as well. They're not going to challenge. Now, Drews has struggled with her service. That's much better. Tip ball, well read by Annie Drews, but just couldn't slide the arms underneath the ball and keep it in play. I don't think referee Evgeny Makshanov is looking particularly impressed either at the moment. That one nearly hitting him. Another great kill. Melitza Kubera on to replace her captain, Bielica. Those are big shoes to fill, and Kubera is doing a really good job of that. Accelerates into the ball, again trying to use that seam in the USA block. Retka off the hands of Busa. Another point to the Team USA as they march ever closer to a 2-1 lead here in Conegliano. Saw a shot of that one lines judge at the back of the court. FIVB trialling a new lines system, but with the challenge system in place. And a cheeky play from Misha Hancock, so she takes her tally to 4. Zoran Terzic with the kind of resigned look on his face that you would expect at this point in the set. He's given up on this one. He just wants some sort of momentum to take into set 4. Kingdon temporarily obliges. A few subs going through the Pick Me coach routine. And at this rate, just about everybody's going to get on. Good save. Shoved through the block by Dana Retka, who is rapidly catching Washington, her middle blocking partner, on 12, and Annie Drews on 14. USA have upped the ante in this match, they really have, and Serbia just don't have the answers. Oh, wow. And after 2 terrific hits on the right side of court, it's a monster block from Washington. Just lined it up on that pipe. And every set has a final point, but not every set has a final point like this. Huge block as Hayley Washington for Team USA shuts the lights out on Kubera and Serbia. Great movement from the number 22 for Team USA, fully appreciated by the substitutes' pen. And there we go, even the substitutes know the monster block call these days. That was great to see. From the USA point of view anyway, Serbia not so good. And 2 very poor sets from them, 25-16, 25-15. And that means USA have more than expunged that first set 25-23 loss. They go 2-1 up, with their main players now starting to fire on all cylinders. Drews, Retka, Washington, all weighing in big time in those key positions. Serbia probably now with too much to do in this match. USA just want to get this one across the line, and if they play like they've just done in that 3rd set, shouldn't be a problem. Great work from Team USA. And they really have taken Serbia to the cleaners, to be honest, in the last 2 sets. Just attacking with good fluency, even out of system, keeping the scoreboard ticking over. But it's those service statistics that are the real problem. 5 aces in that 3rd set for Team USA. The Serbian passing unit, which is fragile at best. It can be put under pressure. Well, it has certainly been done no favours by the USA from the service line in the last 2 sets. And the Serbian passing unit has to improve, has to up its game. Italian fans in for the big one against the Dominican Republic. That's the match that follows this one. And there's one of the stars at the moment on court for Team USA. Well, we knew that it was going to be good to watch Hayley Washington on the VNL this year, new addition to this US team, and it's been just so. The Volley Brescia player here in Serie A in Italy. A few of the American players earning their living. And there's the tablet that the second officials work from on the net post. That allows them to keep hold or keep a track of the rotation on both sides of the net to make sure the players are all stood in the right places when the ball is served. Busa, good pass. Back on court, Captain Bielitsa. And as well as Kabura played, I'm afraid that final stuff block on her by Washington probably convinced Zoran Terzic that it was time to go back to his captain and opposite spiker for set 4. Popovic. Well, second time they've tried to use that. It's nearly working. We've seen both Retka and Washington now run off of one leg in front of Hancock, the setter. And what they're trying to do is effectively create a slide D in front of the setter. So rather than going round the back, they go in front. And there's Washington starting the 4th set as she finished the 3rd with a monster block. Make it 2. It's funny how one sometimes follows another. And some of these younger Serbian players being given a bit of a lesson at the net at the moment. Busa trying to work the line, because she doesn't want to take Washington on, but she's got Annie Drews there waiting for her. Oh, it's an ace. That could be on the line. I think we might see a challenge here. It's a funny thing when you watch the ball go past the baseline. That shadow sometimes makes you think it's in, but all of the Team USA players, including me, in the commentary box, reacting straight away to that when it looked in. Was it in or out? That's the challenge. The ball, when it hits the floor, it compresses. If it compresses enough, it will touch the line. No, it was just the shadow. We were all wrong. That's the second line challenge that Karch has gone for in this match. Second one he's lost. Nice, much more traditional A-quick option in front of the setter, so Washington running quick. That's what the middle players do in offence, getting into the air about a metre away from the setter. And just hammering this cross-court. Fantastic set from Hancock. Fantastic kill from this very exciting new middle blocker on Team USA. And that's saying something when you consider the quality of the middle blocking players that USA have at the moment. So Felica Karadeo. Then they've got Lauren Gibbermeyer playing with Azazabasha in Turkey at the moment. Totori Dixon with Beijing Motors in China. Rachel Adams with Pro Victoria Pallavolo. I promise you that is a group of middle players that most teams in the world right now would love to have on their roster. This is really messy stuff, I'm afraid, from both teams. That's a nice bit of defence. Well, just about killed in the end by Serbia. limping across the line in that one. New player on court, Jelena Blagojevic, 30-year-old wing spiker from Rzeszów. Players waiting to receive service. Now this is a nice touch. Apart from the fact that that was going out, that's a really good piece of defence. But if it's touched the block, you've got to play it. So great decision. And the US bench starting to dance. That's not a good sign for Team Serbia. But they're not done yet, Serbia. Out of this one. Good serve from Busa. So Serbia getting in on the ace action. That's their 5th ace of the game. Good pick-up from the veteran Blagojevic on court. And it's just a wave of volleyball, isn't it, coming at them from Team USA. And at this level, you just can't give the ball away. You can't just chuck the ball over because it comes back with interest. Good kill from Kingdon. Drews to serve. Bizarre, they've done it again. 2 players going for the same ball on the US side of the net. Good stop from Redka. Well, these errors are killing Serbia at the moment. These are really hurting. Not for the first time. Seta Mirkovic back on court instead of Antanasijevic, setting the ball too wide for her spiker. Just over the net from Annie Drews. Good save from Blagojevic. Reverse to Bielica, easily read. US blockers knew exactly where that ball was going and lined up the Serbian captain. Monster block then. Takes USA into the lead. Watch Redka get the hands over here. There was no way the cross court was on, so Bielica tried to take on Kingdon. Tip, well picked up by Drews. Blagojevic, nice swing. She was the glue that just held things together last year. A little reminiscent of Vlad Gribic in that fabulous former Yugoslavia side that took gold back in 2000 at the Olympics. Sometimes an unsung hero, but gets on, does the job, fills in all the gaps. Nope, under the net. The whistle eventually going. As Mirkovic rolls around on her back. Savic replaced by the libero, or has she lost her place on court? Good swing. Great pick-up, though, from Drews. Oh, dear. Well, well done, Pusic, for staying in the rally. And well done to Bielica for putting her second opportunity away. Cracking piece of defence from Drews to keep it going, but then real miscommunication from Serbia. It's that kind of day for Karch Kirai. His team, he knows this, are going to have to play a lot better than this when they face Italy and the Dominican Republic. Backline offence, Drews. Well reused. Might see a challenge here from Team USA. 4 touches is the signal, so according to the referee, did not hit the block as well as hitting the net. So it's the technical timeout as well as a challenge. And the light show indicates, as well as the Mission Impossible music, that we're looking for a block touch here. So did this, it's not about coming off the fingers and away, it's about hitting the net tape and bouncing into the blocker's hands and back into play. That's what USA think happened. If that challenge goes their way, then it'll be a let, and we will replay the point. Here we go then, into the net, into the block. It's going to be a let. So did touch, but it wasn't the touch that influenced the end of the point. The whistle had already gone. So we go again. Score readjusted back down to 7-all. Scoreboard will catch up in a moment. And Serbia invited to serve again. 7-all into the net, just to absolutely make sure that we go to our technical timeout. That was poor from Mirkovic. You might hear about that from Coach Terzic in the technical.
Jimmy would be disappointed on that overpass. Too much weak sauce. We're bringing strong toss the next time.
Ladies, listen up. With opposite, number 13, she's showing line, but she's bringing it in. Just make sure we're still what we're blocking, but up, don't reach. So we don't give her anything, up and over. Dana, real quick. When we get around, don't worry about slide. You gotta help Mike a lot with number 20 over there, okay? Make sense? Help Mike over there.
Here we go, USA.
USA! USA!
Rekha there getting all the information. First of all from Karch Kirai, the tall US middle blocker. Just being reminded by Karch that she missed a golden opportunity on that overpass for a really big hit. Just got a little weak on her free side, didn't swing through the ball. And then second of all from assistant coach Luka Slave, just asking her to go and support Hancock on the block rather than worrying too much about the other quick attacks that are running in front of her. Dana Rekha serves. Good pick up, USA. Great dig from Kingdon. And again, 2 in a row from Kingdon. Hancock hustles, but it's a free ball, is it? No. The angle just a little too tricky for Parsons to get that one back in play. 2 thumping hits, 2 cracking pickups. Sometimes a little exchange like that, just like the blue touch paper again. Just checking that the moisture has been removed from the court. Very important. If there's that little thin film of moisture on top of the playing surface, that can sometimes lead to a slip. But we're good to go again. Drews. Nice dig from Blagojevic. Well chased by Mirkovic. But a free ball. Good recycle. Oh, dear me. Oh, somehow Bjelica has kept Serbia in that rally, but a tip finishes it. Mirkovic is having an absolute nightmare on her reverse setting. Just keeps firing it past the antenna. It's unplayable. And somehow Bjelica has got that back onto the USA side of the court. Full marks to the Serbian captain. Booming shot. Not seen enough of that from Popovic. I think she's a really classy player, and if you do jump high like she does and you do hit steep like she does, then you've got to turn it. Turn it away from the block, and that's exactly what she did there. New setter on court, a new libero, sorry, on court for Serbia, incidentally. Bojana Gokanin, the 16-year-old, back in play. Hancock, another hustle from her. Parsons is dug, Busa goes tip. USA keep it in play. Off the fingers, USA opportunity. Not a great set to Parsons. Serbia can swing for this. Great block. Oh, what a shutdown from Hayley Washington. Mega rally, and certainly a monster block to finish it. Popovic with the serve, gets it under play. And then somehow, all the way across from the far side, look at that for a pancake. Sliding the hand under the ball, letting it bounce off the back of the hand and into play. Well done to Parsons. And a monster block sends Washington to 15 points for the game. Great contribution from the US middle blocker. Savic with the kill. And still, Serbia hang in there in set 4. Yeah, let's see with the serve. Drews. It's a really good set from Hancock. Sprinted into court, got airborne, and then just fired a very flat reverse ball. All Drews had to do was just run in and contact. Right in the slot for Drews. Washington, 3 aces in the last set. Can't deliver one there, though. Well, it's set. Cracks the ball really hard, but wide of the block, wide of the defenders, wide of the court. Dangerous moments here for Serbia. Don't want to give too much away. They didn't really even have a think about the challenge, even though that went close to the block and close to the defender. Not close enough. Good serve. Well controlled. Serbia can't put it away, though. No problems for Team USA. Kingdon makes double figures for the game. Madison Kingdon Rochelle playing over in China for the Beijing Motor Volleyball Company. Really good hit from her. Timeout for Serbia.
Really good block, Texas. Hey, row 4, 5, and 6. She's going to try to...
I rekli smo danas na videu iz Srba, on sve kontra i pušće formu. Ne sme da se desi da znači. Bilo šta drugo, ako igre možete da se prevarite, to ne sme. Ajde.
So, 2 timeouts at 30 seconds apiece can be called by the coach on each side of the net. They've also got their substitutions, 6 of them to slow the game down if they need to, and then the 2 enforced technical timeouts at a minute each. So plenty of opportunity to stop the game, break it into sections, change the fortunes of the players out there. And that's exactly what Terzic has tried here. He's also got a couple of substitutions lined up, just getting ready, and it's worked. So good call from Zoran Terzic. Timeout produces the service error. Serbia back to the service line, ball in hand. Bit low for Annie Drews that set, but she's managed to make the best of it. Shoves it into the block. Rebound not going Serbia's way. Blagojevic will be very frustrated with that. Nice work. Slide D again. Savic with the kill. Blocker was lined up on her, but made the point well. Buchanan leaves the court, the libero for Serbia. 2 middle blockers on court at the moment. The only time that happens is when the middle player serves. And Repka, another middle player, just gets that scoreboard turned over again. 15-12 USA. They've got that 3-point cushion that the pro teams look for. follows the angles that I was talking about, Popovic looking for, but the set wasn't quite there. Technical timeout arrives then. And USA moving out to a 4-point advantage.
And set us up.
Row 5, let's see where Oppo is running. That's number one thing, okay? I like your lineups on slide. Let's make sure we take care of it. No knee down, okay, on slide defense. Oppo left, Oppo left. Help Mike. Okay, here we go.
Oppo. That's slang in Lucas Labe language, anyway, for opposite. He's happy with the USA blocking on that slide around the back of the setter. Seems like Karchkirai isn't talking in those timeouts, but he does the first bit of the timeout. He just gets a bit of information quickly away, and then Lucas Labe takes over with that slightly more technically loaded delivery. Can get a bit frantic down there on the US bench sometimes, with comments and tactics and information being fired back and forth. Blagojevich with the pass. Bielitsa can't put it away. Blagojevich can't put it away. Good solid blocking here from Team USA, and again from Retka. That's nice. That's really nice. And end on, you can just see how much the block is stretched by these various plays. And that's the setter's job. Off a decent pass, cause real problems for the block. Great fire up to Popovic, and she does jump. She really flies. Not the most textbook of arm swings, but it worked on that occasion. Mirkovic with the serve, the setter staying on court, and it's a decent serve. Another mix-up. Now, the young libero, just 16 years of age, Gokhanin, won't go to Blagojevich and say, get out of the way, it's my ball. There was nearly a mix-up here. The libero can get in and pass the free balls. The wing spikers just need to be available to hit, get wide. Trust your libero. Great block. That's a very nice line from Parsons. And when you've got Retka alongside you, monster block is usually not far away. But it is all Parsons. Really had to reach for that as well. Great stuff block. Retka follows with another error from the service line. It's been a regular feature of both teams today. Bielitsa back onto the front line then for Serbia. Blagojevich with the serve. Drews from the back line. And that puts Drews into the 20 zone. 21 points for her. And if your opposite player goes out and scores you 21, you're in the game. Anything bigger than that, you're winning it usually 3-0. Hancock. Players trying to hit the lines, trying to hit difficult parts of the court, trying to make the ball move. And with those jump float serves, if you get your arm angles wrong, if you get the contact wrong, then it just flies out of court. It's a much more tricky skill than it looks. Nice shot from Parsons. Found clean court because Serbia just couldn't sort out who was supposed to be where on defense. Parsons with the serve. Busa. Good cross-court shot, nicely dug by Kingdon. Kingdon off the hands. He's going to come back, is it? Has to pass between the antenna. It hasn't done so. That was a tough shot for Buchanan to play. Great dig from Kingdom. Committed dive from Busa, gets it into the air, but Gokhanen just can't shovel it back between the antennas on the net.
Samo nam fali jedan. Ne možemo da pipnemo bukvalno ni jednu loptu. Ajmo dalje. Bilo pametnije malo. Dobijaš prijem ili kontru, nije bitno. Maltene u dvojici. Na zakazan penal dižeš bijelicu. Izač prva linija, srednjaci prate, to misli malo.
Second timeout used by Serbia in set 4. And Zoran Terzic will know only too well that that is pretty much his last roll of the dice in this game. He knows that this game is drifting away from his team. 9 points for Parsons. Had a relatively quiet game, Sarah Parsons. Decent kill from Busa down the line. A great look at the spike action from close to the court. It's the thing that all players, especially the new ones into the game, love to try, love to be able to do, to hit a spike. Along with blocking and jump serving, they are the big, exciting parts of the game, the explosive parts of the game. But so much more to it than that. The USA now are just strolling to a 3-1 victory. Good forceful spiking from Kingdon. Takes it to 12 points for the game. Good dig. Oh, wow. Monster block from Dana Retker. That is huge. And that's what she can do in front court. Brilliant dig from Hayley Washington to keep the ball in play. And it's the middle blocker show. And that has gone vertical. This nearly goes down the socks of the captain. Bielsa. Retker delighted with that, and so she should be. That was all middle play there. Middle blocker serve, middle blocker defend, middle blocker block. That's their job, and it was well done by Retker. Coaches discussing what's left. 2 points required by Team USA. That's not a great pass from Parsons. And that's really not great from Courtney. Was handed that one a little bit late in the day. Parsons got out the way and said to Courtney, it's all yours. And the American libero didn't quite get her act together there. She's had a decent game, actually. But Megan Courtney, Molly Bergamo player, couldn't make it happen there. Timeout, Karshkirai.
Really loud and early. One good touch on it. Got some great routes coming at us. Annie's ready on the red, but we got 2 other options too. And out of the back row. Here we go.
Quick number 20, play for a tip. Number 20, play for a tip.
Hey, we work. USA! USA! Hey, high energy, good shot. Let's go.
Karch getting a bit more time to talk there. He has his moments, but he's generally very mild-mannered and quite pragmatic within timeouts. Just wants to get the information to the players, wants to make sure they've understood Now this should go to Annie Drews, it does. And Annie Drews is roofed because Serbia knew it was coming. Nice block, Savic. Monster block for Serbia, and it's been a long time since we've seen that. Very nice. Good hands pointing back into court. Now, you can go back to Drews. That would almost constitute a combination play, or is Retka going to get something here? No, Drews it is again. Drews tips. And double play, going back to the same player twice, has worked for Hancock and the USA. 4 match points then for Team USA, who've made a comprehensive recovery since losing set 1. Good pass. Kokkanina's looked pretty good, the 16-year-old libero. Serbia to stay in the match. Antanasevic is back on the court, as is Kubura. That was the double substitution employed by Zoran Terzic. There's the youngster, Kokkanin. Three swings for the match then. 3 attack opportunities for Team USA to put this away. First one though, may go begging here. They are going to get a swing for it. Kingdon does it, shoves it down the front of the block and applies the finishing touch for her 13th point of the game. 25-21, little more competitive in that set. Zoran Terzic knows that after a good start from his Serbian team, they completely dropped off the pace as the USA pressure increased against them. And they're going to have to do a lot better than that if they want to come away with a win in week 2, with the Dominican Republic and Italy still to play. For Team USA, though, it is 4 from 4 as they begin the defence of their VNL title in 2019. It's all smiles for the Americans. And with a good number of big-name players missing from the lineup here in Conegliano, Kurai will be delighted with the contributions of those less well-known players. Slabe still discussing with the players what he thinks can improve, as is Kurai, but why not? We've got 3 days of volleyball here in Italy. We'll use every moment to keep improving. Team USA, not quite the way they'd have wanted to finish this one, but good enough. From Kingdon, 13 for her. Drews the leading scorer for USA on 22 points, and then 15 apiece from the 2 middle blockers. 30 points contributed through the middle by Retka and Washington. So 5 points more than a single set. That is a great return from the blockers. And if Kingdon and Parsons can weigh in with just that little bit heavier scoring from the wing spiking positions, Team USA looking in pretty good shape here in Conegliano. So day 1 of week 2 here in Italy, and game 1 goes to USA. 3 sets to 1 in the end. Very convincing in all departments, and that blocking stat, 16 blocks. That's where a lot of those points were scored by Washington and by Retka. And impressive as well in the end from the service line. A lot of aces delivered by Team USA, and in the end, nothing Serbia could do to stop them. 25-23